Have you ever made a pro-con list? It's that go-to strategy when you're feeling confused or desperate about a decision. You grab a sheet of paper, you draw a line down the middle, you write the pros on one side and the cons on the other, and then whichever side is longer, that's the direction you go, right? Today we're looking at that list through a new lens, and one that the author of the book The Next Right Thing, Emily P. Freeman, shares in her book. This is another episode of the Driven Introvert Podcast, where we are continuing our read of The Next Right Thing. We're diving into chapter 9, titled Make the Most Important List. Let's talk about the pro-con list. You're listening to the Driven Introvert Podcast, the place to be for dreamers, doers, and entrepreneurs who are ready to birth the dreams, callings, and ideas the Lord has placed in their hearts. Do you sense that God is calling you to step out and do something new, but you're held back by fear and uncertainty? Do you struggle with believing that you can do great things because of your quiet, reserved, and introverted nature? Welcome here. I'm Remy Roy, your host and founder of shepacked.com. I'm an author, an entrepreneur, a creative, and a committed trier. I'm here to help you get unstuck and make progress on your God idea. Let's go. So I found myself in this place so many times, trying to decide if I should take a job or make a big change. I remember years ago, I was working for a management consulting company in Lagos. I didn't like the job. Then I got an opportunity to work at a magazine, a place that I had written for before. I'd written some articles for that magazine. The publisher invited me to come on board as the managing editor, and I was excited. But it also felt uncertain. I didn't know if it was the right move. So what did I do? I made a list. I wrote out all the pros and cons. Eventually, I took the magazine job because I felt it was like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I didn't know if something that cool and creative would come my way again, so I jumped. But the reason I want to dig into this idea of the pro-con list today is because of what Emily shares in this chapter. She sees value in writing things down. It helps you sort through your thoughts, make sense of things that feel jumbled in your mind. But she also points out something very important. A pro-con list assumes that every line item weighs the same, but we all know they don't. You might have 10 cons on your list and only one pro. But if that one pro is your health, your family, or your peace of mind, it outweighs everything else. She also points out that we usually make this list when we're under pressure. We're desperate, rushed, confused, with a looming deadline. It's not exactly the best mental space for decision making. So what is the alternative to the pro-con list? Emily introduces something she calls a life energy list. I'm not sure about that title, but it makes sense. Instead of listing pros and cons, she encourages us to ask two simple but powerful questions. Number 1, what is life-giving? And number 2, what is life-draining? Emily suggests doing this before you're in a high-pressure decision-making moment. Use it as a regular reflection tool. For example, take a look back at your summer or the winter. What did you do that energized you? And what completely drained you? She recommends breaking this down by areas of your life, relationships, work, creativity, whatever matters to you. That way, when a decision comes up in that area, you already have clarity about what aligns with what matters most to you. And this is where it got really personal for me. Emily gives an example that fits me exactly. She says there may be things that feel life-draining in the moment, like hosting people. I talked a little bit about this in the last episode. Hosting people can feel life-draining, but the result is life-giving. And that hit home for me. As an introvert, I am not the hostess with the mostess. Hosting, cooking, cleaning, those things drain me. But over the years, I realized I do love having people around. People I trust, who I can laugh with, who feel like home. That connection is deeply life-giving to me. So yes, I will endure the draining prep work because the outcome fills me up. This is exactly the point. If I made a traditional pro-con list about having people over, the cons would probably win. Too much work, too much stress. But through the lens of life-giving versus life-draining, I know what matters more. So I want to prioritize that. So what does this mean for you? Think about the areas of your life: work, family, friendships, finances. What gives you life? What drains you? What is worth enduring because the result is rich and meaningful? What is just not worth it? You won't always be able to avoid tough situations and tough decisions. Some options will be equally good. For example, or equally terrible. But when that time comes, remember this lens and ask yourself, what will give me life? What will drain me? And what matters most to me in this season? Sometimes the thing you don't want to do ends up being the exact thing you need because life can be, so crazy that way. And it's all because of what is waiting on the other side. You don't want to do this thing, but if you end up doing it and you get to the other side, what is there and waiting for you is amazing beyond anything you ever expected. So because of that, you want to endure that thing and do it now. And you may not get that answer from a pro-con list. So considering what is giving you life, what is draining you, and what matters most in every season is very crucial. So we've been talking about the idea of a pro-con list and how it is not the be-all end-all when you have to make a decision. When you feel pressured, go beyond just writing out pros and cons on a paper to make your decision. Think through the decision. Think through every aspect of it. What will be good for you? What might drain you? And what matters most for you in that particular season? I hope that helps. So here's a practical thought for you if you are an introvert who is shy, unsure, overwhelmed, and you're wondering, how can I be the kind of person that just makes decisions quickly, confidently, boldly, and moves on and does great things? Here's my challenge to you. Think about a time you had to make a tough decision. Did you make a pro-con list? What would have happened if you made a life energy list instead? What is life-giving? What is draining? And what matters most in that season? So, you do have to make tough choices. You do have to make decisions. And if you find yourself to be the kind of person who hesitates a lot out of fear or a lack of confidence, make a list of the things, depending on that situation or maybe that area of your life, that give you life, the things that drain you, the things that you really want most in that season, before you ever get to the point where you have to make a hasty decision. That will prepare your mind and your spirit and even your body to be calm when you have to make that decision. I hope this helps you. I would love to hear your thoughts about this. Have you ever made a pro-con list? How did it go? And do you consider trying out this challenge? I'm making a list of the things that actually give you life, things that drain you, and the things that you really, really want. I'd love to encourage you. Send me an email at thedrivenintrovert@shepack.com. I do read every message. Thank you so much for listening to this one, and I hope you can support the show. Until next time, bye. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoy this conversation, please take a moment to follow or subscribe to the podcast. I'd also love your feedback on this episode. You can scroll down on your app and click write a review. I'd love to read your takeaways from this conversation. As always, don't forget to take courage, trust God, and go pursue your big ideas. See you next time. The Driven Introvert is produced by shepack.com and Remy Roy. Want to ask a question or share a comment on a future episode? Click on the link in the show notes to record your question in a voicemail.